Understanding word stress with Alpha English. Word stress is your magic key to understanding spoken English. Native speakers of English use word stress naturally. Word stress is so natural for them that they don't even know they use it. Non-native speakers who speak English to native speakers without using word stress encounter two problems. They find it difficult to understand native speakers, especially those speaking fast. The native speakers may find it difficult to understand them. In this lesson we look at the most important aspects of word stress, followed by a short quiz to check your understanding. Understanding syllables. To understand word stress, it helps to understand syllables. Every word is made from syllables. Each word has 1, 2, 3 or more syllables. Syllable is a unit of pronunciation that has one vowel sound and may or may not be surrounded by consonants. A syllable can form a whole word or part of a word. Dog, green, quite, quiet, orange, table, expensive, interesting, unrealistic, unexceptional. Notice that, with a few rare exceptions, every syllable contains at least one vowel, a, e, I, o or u or vowel sound. What is word stress? In English, we do not say each syllable with the same force or strength. In one word, we accentuate one syllable. We say one syllable very loudly, big, strong, important, and all the other syllables very quietly. Let's take 3 words, photograph, photographer and photographic. Do they sound the same when spoken? No, because we accentuate, stress, one syllable in each word. And it is not always the same syllable, so the shape of each word is different. Listen to these words. Do you hear the stressed syllable in each word? Photograph, photograph, photographer, photographer, photographic, photographic. This happens in all words with 2 or more syllables. Teacher, Japan, China, above, conversation, interesting, important, demand, etc. The syllables that are not stressed are weak or small or quiet. Fluent speakers of English listen for the stressed syllables, not the weak syllables. If you use word stress in your speech, you will instantly and automatically improve your pronunciation and your comprehension. Try to hear the stress in individual words each time you listen to English in films, for example. Your first step is to hear and recognize it. After that, you can use it. There are 2 very important rules about word stress. 1 word, 1 stress. 1 word cannot have 2 stresses. So if you hear 2 stresses, you have heard 2 words, not 1 word. The stress is always on a vowel. Why is word stress important? Word stress is not used in all languages. Some languages, Japanese or French for example, pronounce each syllable with equal emphasis. Other languages, English for example, use word stress and pronounce different syllables with more or less importance. Word stress is not an optional extra that you can add to the English language if you want. It is part of the language. Fluent English speakers use word stress to communicate rapidly and accurately even in difficult conditions. If, for example, you do not hear a word clearly, you can still understand the word because of the position of the stress. Think again about the 2 words photograph and photographer. Now imagine that you are speaking to somebody by telephone over a very bad line. You cannot hear clearly. In fact, you hear only the first 2 syllables of one of these words, photo. Which word is it, photograph or photographer? Photograph. Photographer. It's magic. Of course, you also have the context of your conversation to help you. This is a simple example of how word stress helps us understand spoken English, especially rapid spoken English. There are many, many other examples, because we use word stress all the time, without thinking about it. Where do I put word stress? There are some word stress rules about which syllable to stress, but the rules are rather complicated. Probably the best way to learn is from experience. Listen carefully to spoken English and try to develop a feeling for the music of the language. When you learn a new word, you should also learn its stress pattern. If you keep a vocabulary book, make a note to show which syllable is stressed. If you do not know, you can look in a dictionary. All dictionaries give the phonetic spelling of a word. This is where they show which syllable is stressed, usually with an apostrophe, just before or just after the stressed syllable. The notes in the dictionary will explain the system used. Look at, and listen to, this example for the word plastic. There are 2 syllables and the first syllable is stressed. Plastic. Notice that dictionary A uses a different system to dictionary B to show which syllable is stressed. Of course, it's the same word, plastic, and the stress is the same, the first syllable. But dictionary A puts an apostrophe after the stressed syllable and dictionary B puts an apostrophe before the stressed syllable. You need to check your dictionary's notes to know which system it uses. Word stress rules. There are 2 very simple rules about word stress. One word has only one stress. One word cannot have 2 stresses. If you hear 2 stresses, you hear 2 words. 2 stresses cannot be one word. It is true that there can be a secondary stress in some words. But a secondary stress is much smaller than the main, primary stress, and is only used in long words. We can only stress vowels, not consonants. Here are some more, rather complicated, rules that can help you understand where to put the stress. But do not rely on them too much, because there are many exceptions. It is better to try to feel the music of the language and to add the stress naturally. Stress on first syllable. Most 2-syllable nouns. Present. Export. China. Table. Most 2-syllable adjectives. Present. Slender. Cleaver. Happy. Stress on last syllable. Most 2-syllable verbs. Present. Export. Decide. Begin. There are many 2-syllable words in English whose meaning and class change with a change in stress. The word present, for example, is a 2-syllable word. If we stress the first syllable, it is a noun, gift, or an adjective opposite of absent. But if we stress the second syllable, it becomes a verb, to offer. More examples: the words export, import, contract, and object can all be nouns or verbs depending on whether the stress is on the first or second syllable. Stress on the penultimate syllable. Penultimate means second from end. Words ending in IC. Graphic, geographic, geologic. Words ending in -tion and -tion. Television, revelation. Note that for a few words, native English speakers don't always agree on where to put the stress. For example, some people say television and others say television. Another example is controversy and controversy. Stress on the antepenultimate syllable. Antepenultimate means third from end. Words ending in psi, ti, phi and g. Democracy, dependability, photography, geology. Words ending in al. Critical, geological. Compound words. Words with 2 parts. For compound nouns, the stress is on the first part. Blackbird, greenhouse. For compound adjectives, the stress is on the second part. Bad-tempered, old-fashioned. For compound verbs, the stress is on the second part. Understand, overflow. Now let's take a quiz. For each question, the correct choice is the one in which the stressed syllable is capitalized, as in vocabulary. 1. Can you pass me a plastic knife? 2. I want to be a photographer. 3. Which photograph do you like best? 4. He was born in China. 5. Whose computer is this? 6. I can't decide which book to borrow. 7. Couldn't you understand what she was saying? 8. Voting in elections is your most important duty. 9. We had a really interesting conversation. 10. How do you pronounce this word? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.